Welcome to the Two Guys Show on the EdReach Network, giving educators a big voice. It is episode number 15 already, and I am Drew Minnock. I'm one of your hosts, as always, at TechMinnock on Twitter, or you can find us on our blog at www.twoguysandsomeipads.com. We are very excited about our guest tonight, but my other co-host is...
Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight on the Two Guys Show on the EdReach Network. I am Brad Wade, also known as at TechBradWade on Twitter. Thank you for being with us tonight. And as Drew said, we're really excited to have our guest, Kyle Pace, with us tonight. Kyle, how you doing? It's nice to have you.
I'm good. Glad to be here. Really excited to join you guys.
All right. We're excited to have you, that's for sure.
Good.
Well, our show is pretty laid back. We like to have fun.
We do.
We like to joke and make fun of Brad every now and then, and just talk about some ed tech here and there.
Absolutely. So I know you're friends of the show. You know Drew and I, we've met, we know each other, and so you kind of know how this works. So to get things started, why don't you just, for people who are joining us, either new to the show or new to you, why don't you give us like a 2-minute overview, who you are, and then just kind of what you do, and then we'll get rolling with start digging in deeper to what you're all about.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds good. Well, again, my name's Kyle Pace, and I am in just outside of Kansas City, Missouri, is where I hail from. Born and raised my whole life from Kansas City. So I have been in education now. This is my 14th year in education. I was an elementary classroom teacher, and for the last 10 years, I have been a district instructional technology specialist. So I work with an awesome team that provides PD and support for tech integration to all the staff in my district.
That is
awesome.
That's great.
Yeah.
And so we're going to get more into that, and then at some point I want to talk. We'll kind of near the end of the interview, Kyle. Well, after we get done with some of the specific questions, want to talk a little bit about ISTE last year, and then talk about some things that you have going on between now and like ISTE next year and what you're looking forward to. But
yeah.
So all right. So I'd like to. You mentioned about being an instructional technology specialist for your district. Can you give us kind of an overview? I know you do K-12. Can you kind of give what your job looks like? If someone were to shadow you for a day, what are some things they might see?
It looks different. It can look very different every day, to be honest with you, and that's one of the things that I love most about it, is just all of the different ways my job can look. Sometimes sometimes I have my office days sometimes where I am at my desk at our district central office, and I'm just doing a lot of work from there, doing a lot of catching up on emails and things, right there from our home base where our department is located. But the good majority of the time, I am out in buildings all over the district. There are 3 other instructional technology specialists besides myself, and we are out in buildings constantly. It's pretty rare that we are all 4 together in our department at our central office at one time for any extended period of time. But the ways we meet with teachers, it can look like several different ways. Sometimes teachers will contact us specifically, individually. They'll contact us for an appointment for some technology integration support, whether that be coming out and meeting with them before school, after school, during their plan time, during PLC collaboration time. We have that every Wednesday morning in my district, and so sometimes it looks like that. Sometimes they invite us out to do some technology integration support with a project their kids are working on. So that's always a lot of fun when we get back in the classroom and hanging out with kids. That's always a good time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and sometimes we might meet with an entire grade level at a time. Sometimes we might meet, if it's a secondary school, we might meet with an entire department at a time. Sometimes we work with just administrators some of our times. We've done a lot of that over the past year. We've done a lot of work specifically with our elementary principals and assistant principals, PD very specific for them to just kind of increase their their technology knowledge and their technology use and help them be good models of it for their teachers. So we've done a lot with our administrators. Sometimes we'll come out, to a staff meeting if a principal invites us out to a before or after school staff meeting, or certainly on those district professional development days that we have, we might go out on, get invited to multiple places. I think our last professional development day, when we didn't have kids come to school, I was at 4 different locations throughout the day, just working with teachers. So we have pretty busy days on those professional development days. So, but yeah, it can look a lot of different ways, and like I said, that keeps it fun and that keeps it going, and that helps us, just keep moving things forward.
Now, what kind of technology is your district working with? Are you guys one-to-one anything? I know you're big with Google, and we'll get into that a little bit later, but what kind of technology do your teachers have access to?
Well, all of our teachers, all of our teachers have their own laptop. That's their own personal device that they have. So the district does provide every teacher with a laptop that teachers can use wherever they're at in their building or wherever they go in the district. They can be online and connected wherever they go. So that's the teacher's main device. A lot of our classrooms, have the traditional smartboard / projector system going in their classrooms too. As far as student devices go, we don't have one-to-one. We don't have one-to-one or BYOD right now. But the main device that has become our I guess you would say preferred student device is the Chromebook. We currently have, I believe it's just over 4,000 Chromebooks in my district.
Oh wow! And that's not one-to-one?
That's not one-to-one, no, because we have 18,000 students.
Oh, well,
so
okay,
we're a pretty good sized district. So yeah, but every single one of our schools has at least 2, I would say, even, and that's continually going up, mobile carts of Chromebooks. So that continues to go up, and which is exciting. But that's not the only device we have either. We have lots of iPads around in our district also. That's probably going to be the second most devices, the second largest number of devices we have. Lots of iPads in use also, and I think that's one of the great things about my district is that our technology department is awesome, and they support multiple types of devices, and we support teachers in using multiple types of devices with their students, and I think that's great, because I think my opinion is the more types of devices students have access to throughout their schooling, the better. I think, because kids are going to learn pretty quick what device works best for whatever task they're trying to do. And so I think that's exciting to see that we have more and more devices going on.
Oh, I agree. I think that each device is so unique, and they're a lot of them can do the same things, but they're also, they can do a lot of different things too. Like a Chromebook is very different from an iPad. And one kid might learn better with a Chromebook. That just might be them. That's their style, where other people, like Brad and I, we're more iPad guys, although I've never even had a chance to play with a Chromebook, so I guess I need to get my hand on one of those. Maybe that'll be my next toy, Brad.
There we go.
Exactly. Drew has all the gadgets, so I'm surprised he doesn't have that yet. But Kyle, I got to go back. I always, just to let you know, I always take notes and stuff, and so I'll ask you questions. I may not be looking right at you, but I got to go back to something. When you talked about how big your district is, that's insane. So there's 4 of you dispersed for to cover 18,000 students. Am I correct in that?
That's 4 my official title, like I said, my official title is Instructional Technology Specialist. Now, we have a very big overall information technology department, and we are part of that.
Okay, I'd like to hear about that. How's your structure set up?
Yeah, so as far as our IT department goes, our information technology, we have several folks that are always housed at our central office, and then every single one of our buildings has what's called a site tech. So that is they they are at, or I think some of them now float between a couple different buildings. So certain days of the week they're at one school, certain days they're at another school. But every building does have a site tech, and then in the structure we have field techs, and field techs are responsible for multiple buildings, so they work with their site techs a lot at the different buildings that they're assigned to. And so we have site techs, we have field techs, and then we have our district-wide technology folks that are based at our central office.
Okay, and to follow up on that, now, how long have you guys had that system, that network? How long have you guys been able to support this type of technology? How long has that been in place?
Oh gosh, it was before I was there. Let's see, I've been in my position for 10 years, and it was my position was in place, I want to say, a good 6 or 7 years before that.
Wow.
I gotta say that's probably before a lot of other districts, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah.
I definitely, it was. I do know that. I do know it was, and that's one of the awesome things about my district is the focus on instructional technology and the priority that has been made in regards to instructional technology and putting more devices in student hands and providing support and PD as often as possible for our teachers. Yeah, so we have, so there's 4 of us for 18,000 students, and then we have around, I think our teaching staff is around, I'm gonna probably get this wrong, but I want to say close to 2,000. I want to say, and that's not even counting our classified staff. We support them also, so that would be all of our secretaries and other administrative assistants and things like that, and like folks in our HR department, those folks, and so that would be, we offer support to them as well. So
now the 4 of you, do you guys split up? Are you designated to certain schools, or is it just kind of like whoever's free at that time when someone needs help, they kind of go, or how does that work?
Prior to this year, that's pretty much exactly how it was, how you just mentioned. Some of the things that are bigger district initiatives, for example, when I came into this when I first started in this position, one of those big things was smart boards. Mm-hmm. And then it was like the clickers, the student response systems. It was those, yep. And so we had some things like that were big district-wide initiatives that we had a lot of around the district. So we started kind of assigning ourselves to buildings for some of those specific things. Mm-hmm. Not that I couldn't go help a teacher at Jill or Julie or Linda, those are my coworkers, and not that I couldn't go help a teacher at one of those other buildings that they worked at also. We weren't like super territorial or anything like that.
Yeah.
But and now it's kind of become more of that now, like as we had iPads and Chromebooks, and now what it looks like starting this year, we just started this year specifically with our elementary schools, because we have 18 elementary schools. And so, we each take now 4 or 5 of our elementary buildings, and we are in those buildings, each of those buildings, 1 dedicated day per month. We just started doing that this year. So we scheduled all those dates ahead of time. At the start of the year, we scheduled all those dates with the principal at each of those buildings, and now we go. We are in those buildings 1 day a month, so those teachers know like, for example, one of my schools, the teachers know the 3rd Tuesday of every month, Kyle is going to be there all day. He's going to be there. We can go see him during our plan time. We can get support, or if we want him to come in to help with a project their kids are working on, they know I'm going to be there to do that, and that 1 day a month.
That's awesome. Now, do you think that there's one device that kind of works better for the elementary level, where the kids maybe early elementary where they can't type as well, things like that? Do you find a device works better for them?
That's probably where we have the biggest mix of iPads and Chromebooks are at our elementary buildings, because the general consensus from our K through 2 teachers is they prefer the iPad, since it just, and I totally get it, because the touchscreen device, the tablet, is just so natural for those. It's natural for all kids, but especially those primary grades. It's really natural for those kids. So I would definitely say that's the preferred device. Not to say, though, we don't have K through 2 teachers having their kids use the Chromebooks also. So we have, we've had some of our K through 2 teachers just jump right in feet first and having kids use the Chromebooks. It could, and of course when you're talking about a Chromebook, again, we use Google Apps for Education, so all of our students, K-12, have a Google account that they use, and so kids have to learn to log in with that account, and that's a big undertaking, especially for those primary kids, who aren't the best at their letters yet and their numbers, and so having to type in an email address and a password, that's a big step, but a lot of them do it, and they. And what I always remind teachers is that their kids are gonna pick up on it a lot faster than they think they're going to. So
yes, they do.
It's always a hesitation with teachers, especially the teachers of those in those early grades. But kids always jump in and they pick it up so much faster than you think they're going to.
Absolutely. Hey, so I got a quick question for you. So since you've seen a good mix of Chromebooks and iPads, can you give us just like one thing that you saw that was really cool, one each, for like something you saw really cool with level, doesn't matter whether it's middle school, high school, elementary, something you saw that was really cool with iPads that kids were doing, and then something you saw was really cool with Chromebooks you saw kids were doing?
Oh gosh, let me think. Anything, well, on the iPad, I would say, I think, and this is kind of an easy answer, I guess, but anything that involves the camera, is just on the iPad. I think, and you can, I mean, the Chromebook's got a built-in camera, but you have to kind of point the Chromebook at what you want to snap a picture of, and so that's not real conducive. But it's much easier to take your iPad and point that around and move that around however you want. And,
right.
So yeah, anything involving the camera, I mean, I just think of some of those apps like LeafSnap, for example, those apps that rely on the camera. Kids can go outside and snap a picture of a leaf, and it tells the kids, right away what kind of tree that came from, and
it's insane.
And stuff like that. Or my friend Sean Nash, he told me about some app recently, and I don't even remember the name of it. Some app that he uses to snap a picture of the clouds, and it gives you information now on what kind of clouds those are, and just a whole new way to it's a whole
new way to look at the sky. If anyone out there on Twitter knows what that app is, I'd love to know what that is. That's real interesting. Just be able to take a picture of the sky and it comes back with what clouds. That's insane.
Yeah, and so or just like the app, one of the apps that was always my favorite, like right out of the chute on the iPad, was oh my gosh, the planetarium app, where you can actually hold the iPad up at the sky.
Not Sky.
There's a couple of them. There's there's Sky Chart. I've got like 4 of them downloaded. They keep popping up on like the
I know which one you're
talking free
about.
today.
I know which one you're talking about, Cogs. That was might have been the very first app I downloaded on my iPad. Or something like that, because you go out and you could point it and it would show you where everything was. You could do constellations. I liked checking out where the satellites were when they were going to come around.
Or the International Space Station. It would show you where that is. And then what always blew my mind is if you pointed that iPad at the ground, it would show you the sky in the southern hemisphere. That always, and that was one of those things when we first would start getting iPads in my district. That was one of those apps I would show teachers, and that was like the hook, man. That was like one of the apps that they were just like, oh, I mean, even if they didn't teach space and the solar system and things, in their particular grade, they still would just fall in love with the thing. And so yeah, there's any those apps like that use the camera, I think, and then and just the creation tools that puts in the kids' if you just look at like the iMovie app alone,
I
or
love
something like
iMovie.
that. It's so much fun on the iPad. I probably have more fun with iMovie on an iPad than iMovie on my Mac.
I agree.
Yeah, I've heard you say
that. And TouchCast is another awesome app to create videos, I think. I love TouchCast. My students love TouchCast, and they recently updated it, with some other features and stuff. That is another really cool app to use.
Yeah. As far as the Chromebooks go, if you're a Google Apps for Education district, not that you can't access your Google Apps stuff, because there's the Google Drive app for sure on the iPad, and that just keeps getting better and better. That last big update they did to the Google Drive app was awesome. And you have Google Earth, you have the Google Earth app, and but if you're a Google Apps for Education district, those Chromebooks, they just make sense. To me, that's kind of what I've seen, and just the amount of the way you can customize them so easily for what you want. If you have specific Chrome apps you want to push out to your students, we just started doing that on the Chromebooks for all of our elementary schools go K to 6th grade, and so our department, what we did is we kind of made, as far as the Chrome apps go, we made up a list of what we thought, like what the top 10 apps would be for each grade level that kids might want to have, just like right out of the chute, that we could just push out to them remotely. And so we came up with a list of 10 or 12, for each grade level, and we set that up in our Google Apps dashboard so we could push those apps out remotely to those kids, so that, so all 5th graders, for example, have this standard set of apps right out of the box, and so teachers have really liked that too, and they find apps, of course, too, that they take their kids, and they tell their kids to go to the Chrome store and download those, and so it's, they have those also that they have their kids go get, and I have my daughter's in 3rd grade, and she's owned her own Chromebook for a year now. She got a Chromebook for Christmas last year, and she loves that thing, and she's discovered just on her own, and I never really thought to show it to her. I mean, but she's just discovered so much that she can do on that Chromebook, just beyond just beyond Google Docs. I mean, Google Docs is a huge thing. That's been a huge thing for our teachers and for our administrators and for our students to use. And another thing I didn't tell you guys, as far as our elementary schools go, we starting last year, we went away from Microsoft completely on all of our elementary student computers. Wow. So that was a big thing.
Our district's kind of moving towards that, Kyle. Yeah. And was that kind of rough at the first? For teachers to kind of, you don't have Office anymore, and it's just all kind of Google, and we're moving into the Google apps. This kind of as the year goes on, they're kind of transferring people over, and I'll tell you what, I cannot wait until I get transferred over. Oh my gosh!
And our teachers still have it on their laptops, so we didn't take it. It didn't go anywhere from teacher laptops, and that was, I think, a bit of a scare for some of our folks. That they thought that was going to go away, because that's what they're comfortable with, understandably so. That's what they become comfortable with, and so we did a lot of PD for our teachers last year around Google Apps, specifically on Google Docs, and I think it's in that collaboration piece, I think, was the biggest selling point for a lot of our teachers and our administrators, and that's still, to this day, that's my favorite thing about it, is just the ease of sharing, and the teachers are creating things collaboratively. Principals are sharing stuff so much easier with their staff, via Google Docs now, and teachers are, and now I think really this year, a lot of teachers have really taken off on using it with their students and getting their students using it more inside and outside of school. I mean, and it can be something simple. It doesn't have to be, and I think that's what a lot of teachers, my district or not, I think that's, and that could be with anything. Doesn't matter, Chromebook, iPad, Google Apps, it doesn't matter. I think we still get hung up on seeing technology as just, this big event that that's going to happen in our classroom once a month or every Thursday or whatever, and it's just seen as this extra thing, and that's not what we want to happen. We just want it to become seamless, and we just want it to be, like I think we were talking I was in on Ed Tech Chat last night, and we were talking, it just needs to be as commonplace as the pencil. It just needs to be a tool that we have. It's something that students have access to. If they need it, great. If they don't need it, great. But it's there, and it's readily available to them. And so, but yeah, teachers have started using it a lot more with their kids. Back to Google Apps, using it a lot more this year than ever. And so that's just because everybody's comfort level is increasing. And like I said, the PD that we did for our administrators, I think, was huge. And I by no means take credit for any of that, but it was definitely a team effort, and but that was huge. Just the PD that we have done specifically for some of our administrators.
I think once you get the administrators more comfortable with it, they're gonna expect their teachers to be using it more, and them using it with their teachers will get their teachers more comfortable using it and things like that. So I think that's real important, getting the administrators more comfortable using Google Apps or just technology in general. Like you said, you've been working with a lot of the elementary principals this year and things like that, and I think it's so important.
Absolutely. And that it creates that really nice trickle down effect, is because you get your administrators, and I'm talking, and I haven't even talked about our district level administrators yet. Our central office folks. We're getting a lot of those folks on board as well. Just for example, I met with back in October, I think it was. I met with our entire HR department, because I met with our assistant superintendent of HR and his entire staff. It's because they wanted to learn how to use Google Docs to be more efficient and productive and collaborative in their day-to-day work that they do. And so I think that's outstanding that we have so many different groups of staff, teachers, non-teachers, whatever, that have embraced it and really started using it.
It really does make life easier. Just Google Drive, Google Docs, Google Forms. I mean, Google Hangout. Yeah. I mean, to me, Google Hangout and Skype, but they're not even close.
Right.
I mean, I think Google Hangout is just blow Skype out of the water.
And that's another thing we just opened up this year too. We turned on Google Plus for our teachers, and we turned Google Plus on for our middle school and high school students, or just our high school students right now.
That's awesome.
Have access to Google Plus, and so we've got some teachers that are kind of piloting some pretty cool things specifically with Google Hangouts. We've got one of our high school principals. He had me come do some Google Hangout PD and training for his staff not too long ago, because he wanted his staff to be in the know about what Google Hangouts can do, because he was looking at it as a way for teachers to offer as a virtual tutoring option to students.
Absolutely.
If a student can't stay physically at school after school, why can't they go home and hop on a Hangout with their teacher? Or and then we've also got one of our teachers that she's been trying it out with some students. Just using Hangouts to allow students to attend class virtually. If a student is sick, they can dial in on a Hangout, and the teacher doesn't have to necessarily worry about seeing the student, but as long as the student can see and hear what's going on in class.
Absolutely. And then if for some reason, a student could not quite get to that Google Hangout, or something came up with the Google Hangouts Live, it's not like once the Hangout's over, it's gone. You can't see it anymore, Right. It's instantly uploaded to YouTube, so that you can refer back to it. Even if you are in the Hangout and you're like, what? You couldn't quite remember something from the Hangout, you can just go back and watch it again, or go to that certain part. I mean, it is a powerful tool, that's for sure.
Well, I will second that. The Google Hangout is absolutely. I mean, people who talk with me know this. I just assume do a Google Hangout than talk to you on the phone or whatever. So like, whenever I'm chatting with people, it's like, hey, you want to do a GHO? Let's hang out. Let's talk. You know, because I mean, I like seeing people. I like talking to people, and so there's probably a bunch of people going, yep, I've done a Google Hangout with him. So
yeah, Brad likes to talk to people. Yep.
I do. I truly enjoy it. And when it comes down to it, it's just sharing a passion. Also, I love hearing what other people are doing. One of the biggest benefits of having this show is having people like you on, Kyle. And like, I take tons of notes. I like to listen. I like to hear what people are doing. It just gives me a better idea of what's going on in the education world. And you know, I try to adopt everything I can, and then it's just try to share back and forth. It's just having, you know, it's having that network and that PLN to draw from. And Kyle, you can attest to this. You know, like, it's not uncommon for me to hit you up on a direct message and say Google question. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, absolutely.
And I know you've hit me up for Erasmus questions or augmented reality and stuff. And you know, it works. It's fantastic. Without this network, I could have gone to Google and just, you know, Googled it. But it's nice to have a person. It's an extra benefit and another way to use our PLN and use our social media and stuff like that. And it's absolutely incredible. It's totally a game changer.
And you just hit it right on the head, you know, the whole personal aspect to it. Like you said, yeah, you could go find it on Google. You could go on Google and find a website, or you could go on YouTube and find a video of just some Joe Schmo that's made a video. And not that those are bad, but you don't have a personal connection to that person, you know? You don't know how to get a hold of that person. You can just... all you can do is rewatch their video over and over again, and that works fine for some people, I'm sure. That's not if that's your way of learning, that's great. But that whole personal connection piece that so many of us in this, you know, whether it be on here or on Twitter, that we've become connected to over the years and over time, and we develop these relationships with people, and I think that is something we definitely don't model enough of for our students, is that whole whole connection piece, showing how we connect ourselves to other teachers, and showing how kids can connect to other teachers, where, you know, they can, I mean, you guys are outstanding teachers, don't get me wrong, but think about how many other teachers are out there that your students could connect to.
I know.
When they're not physically present with you. I mean, that's, you know.
It's really funny that you bring that up, because Drew and I have been, we made it a priority this year to connect with other teachers. I'm going to give you two quick examples.
Okay.
If you walk into Drew's room, he's got a big TV in his room. I don't know, was it 42-inch, 50-inch?
42-inch flat screen.
42.
I brought my TV from home, and it's in my classroom now.
Nice.
And Kyle, it's for Google Hangouts. It's for Google Hangouts to talk with teachers and educators. And I mean, someone from the UN. He had someone from the UN they were chatting with. Other teachers. We do. I don't have the TV. He has, but we do Google Hangouts with other teachers. And it's funny. I wish I had taken a picture of this. There's a little message on my dry erase board at school, and I'm going to give a quick shout out to Write About This. You know, the app.
Brad Wilson. Yeah.
Brad Wilson. And here's the thing: is I have a little section on my dry erase board, my big dry erase board. But I just take quick notes on things when I get little ideas. One of the things I wrote up recently was Write About This, and then I wrote in quotation marks, our connected education, because we've done enough with other teachers and people all over the country now that I want to get that feedback from my students. I want to hear their perspective on being connected. You know, I remember having this discussion with a parent and a teacher in another district this summer about being connected, and Drew and I were all in this Twitter forum together, and they were really nervous. And I said, well, wait, I'm not trying to just connect my kids randomly with people and not just like throwing them out there. This is, you know, it's structured through the classroom, through the teacher. Drew has a Twitter account with his class, but also just connecting. You know, we know the teachers ahead of time. We get ideas on what we're going to do and collaborate and questions and do like a geography guess and stuff like that. So now I'm really curious about getting their perspective and integrating this technology, the Google Hangout, the Twitter, being connected, the app, Write About This, putting it all into a creative language arts piece where the kids are now creating. And of course, when we're done, we're going to augment it and tie it to something that they're going to create as well.
Well, of course.
Right.
You know, so
one question from Kristen Madsen on Twitter. She wanted to know if Google Plus is, that's what her IT is telling her, I guess.
Google Plus is what?
You cut out a bit, Drew. What did you say?
Her Google Plus, is it killing your bandwidth?
Not that I'm aware of. Now it's still really new. So as far that particular part of Google Apps, you know, Google Plus for Google Apps for Education is still, that hasn't been out very long. You know, where
is it a completely different Google Plus?
No, it's the same. It's the same Google Plus. It's exactly the same, but it's a Google Plus that's part of your Google Apps domain.
Gotcha.
That part is fairly new, and I don't know that it's doing anything to our bandwidth yet, just because that part of it is so new for our teachers and our kids. I don't know that we have that many using it yet. Now, a really cool thing. And I should have shared this earlier when we were talking about Hangouts. A really cool thing our superintendent did, who's on Twitter, by the way, which is another awesome thing that I love to see this year, is that he's on Twitter. Yep. And but you know, like I told you guys already how big our district is. So what we used to do in our district is, you know, we'd have, and a lot of districts do this still, you have your big back-to-school convocation type of thing where everybody gathers in this one central location, and the superintendent addresses everybody and welcomes everybody back, and you have a motivational kind of camaraderie kind of get-together thing. So our district stopped doing that a few years ago when we were going through a lot of cost containment and budget crunch stuff, and so we stopped doing that because since our district is so big, we had to rent outside facility. We had to rent a facility, right? So we were spending thousands of dollars on a facility because there was no one place in our district that could hold everybody. And so, but what he started doing this year is he delivered his back-to-school message via Hangout.
Nice.
This past year, and it was so cool. It worked out really well. Now, since you can only have 10 people in a Hangout at a time, he had to do it like 3 or 4 different times during the day. And it was like that first day that teachers were back, or that first and second day that teachers were back. So we had to, it took some very creative scheduling on my coordinator's part, and with some of our information technology folks getting that all set up, and there was a lot of setup on the back end to coordinate that. But so he would give his back-to-school message via Hangout to like 5 or 6 locations at a time, and it was awesome. It worked really, really well, and it just added this new level of interactivity to it because he allowed time for teachers at different buildings to ask questions.
That's awesome.
He was able to, I think it just worked really well. It was a lot of fun to be a part of. I went to different locations and helped get set up at different locations, for those particular schools that were going to be joining in at any particular time. So it was very cool.
That is very really cool.
I like that. That's a good creative way to use technology, and to that's kind of like living what you're preaching. Like we talk about this, Drew and I talk about this all the time. Is like, you know what, we have the opportunity to speak to audiences and to talk to other educators and teachers. And one thing we truly believe in is living what we're talking about, and then talk about what we're actually doing in our classrooms and living and breathing. And then and then this is part of it. So that's a great example of having an administrator, in a very big district. You guys are very proactive with technology, and so it's a great way to cut costs, but yet show that you can use the technology. We're not just standing behind a podium and saying, all right, I want all of you to adopt this. I'm not very proficient or comfortable, but adopt it anyways. Where now he or she is showing that they actually use it and know how to use it, and that's actually great. I love that. That's a great example.
Yeah,
I agree.
Really
I think
cool.
It's very, very cool that he. And now, is that something that you guys approached him with on a way to solve that problem, or?
You know what? I'm not really sure how the idea came down initially. I'm not really sure how that came down. So that was cool, there was a lot of planning by a lot of work by a lot of other people that was not me. So that was but it all came together. It was a big team effort to pull that off, at multiple schools at multiple times throughout the day. So
that is really awesome. That's awesome.
Hey, Kyle, tell us about tell us and our viewers just kind of about becoming a Google certified teacher, kind of what the process is like and how long you've been a Google certified teacher.
Yeah, so I became a Google certified teacher 2 years ago in summer 2011. The application process, I think now it seems like there's about 2 or 3 a year now. It seems they seem to be happening more frequently, and as a matter of fact, the newest one is happening tomorrow and Thursday in London. So we have some folks that are new Google certified teachers happening this week, and then it's in I'm probably going to get this wrong. There's another one next week in Switzerland or Sweden, or I can't remember, up there in the Netherlands. It's where that one's at, but so there's an application process. They pick usually around 50 or 60 people each time, and so you fill out a Google form and answer a bunch of questions. That's a pretty typical part of the application process. The hardest part of the application process for me, and I think a lot of other Google certified teachers would probably agree with me, is the video that you have to make that accompanies your application. And so you have to make a video, put it on YouTube, and then you have to give them the link to your YouTube video on the part of the application that you fill out. And so the hard part is, though, that video can only be 1 minute long. That's the hardest part about it. And I tell you what, that stressed me out way more than it should have. And
I'm getting stressed thinking about it.
Oh, absolutely. And they give you a couple of broad themes that it could fall under. You can like learning and motivation, or something like that. It's always a couple different themes you have to pick from. They don't, other than the minute the minute time frame is the biggest parameter that they put on it, and they're really strict about that minute time frame. So that was really hard. So I just remember stressing out about that, and then I just stopped and I'm like, okay, Kyle, you are way overthinking this thing. Just relax and just make something fun. And I did, and I got picked, and so I got to go to the Google office. Mine was in Seattle.
That's not a bad place.
No, that was an awesome place. So I got to spend 2 days at the Google office in Seattle, and a Google office anywhere is just an awesome experience. And you talk about an environment that just breathes creativity and collaboration. Anybody that's been in a Google office knows what I'm talking about. And so that was just a great experience. And it's 2 days of pretty intense PD. One day in particular, that first day, it's about a 12-hour day that you're just going full speed, learning about all the different Google tools and how they can be used in education. And so it's really fun.
That's awesome.
And and it's a great community of people too, that you get connected with. Just part of that connection piece, and furthering your PLN, and it's just a outstanding community of really smart people that I can ask a question to anytime I want. And so
that's awesome.
If you follow the hashtag, a lot of the Google certified teachers use the hashtag GoogleCT. So if you want to follow a lot of Google certified teachers and see some of the things that they're sharing, you can check out the GoogleCT hashtag. So so be sure and check that out. And but yeah, it's just been an awesome experience, and it's led to me getting to do things like this time last year I got to do some presenting at the Learning Forward conference in Boston with Becky who's on the education team, and I get to I've gotten to do some things at the Google booth at ISTE the past couple years, and so that's a lot of fun too. And
that's awesome.
So yeah, it's just, I am a Google fanboy. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I have a dog. My dog's name's Google.
No way.
Yes.
Awesome. Little known fact. You heard it here. Love
you
that.
heard it here. My dog. I have 2 dogs, and one of them, her name is Google.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Google.
So it's it's
that
everywhere.
Is so funny. That is.
And we always make the joke that if we ever lose our dog, we're gonna have to go on a Google search.
Oh, awesome. Well, hey, Kyle, I know you're involved in EdCamp KC. Can you just kind of give our viewers just a real quick overview what EdCamp KC is and how it got started? Just just what you can.
Yeah. So. I definitely would be remiss if I did not give major props to that first group that put on the very first EdCamp, and that's the crew from EdCamp Philly that started this whole crazy movement back in May 2010. Was when they did the very first one, and I just remember having this idea, going, "Hey, there aren't any in the Midwest yet. We need to have one here."
Right.
And so we had our first one in November 2010. So I'm very proud to say that we were the first one in the Midwest.
That's awesome.
So we just had our 4th year happen just back on November 9th, and we had right around 300 people come for a free day of professional development on November 9th. And so I have had each year an amazing crew of people that I could not have done it without, like Laura Gilchrist, who is, I know, listening right now.
Yeah, Laura's awesome.
She's hanging around tonight.
Yep. And so definitely I could not have done it without her this year. She was a tremendous help. She made some awesome connections to local businesses. There she is. Yep. At Laura Gilchrist 4. That's where you can find her.
The reason why I brought it up is because she even has a picture, EdCamp KC, right on her profile pic.
Yep. And so she did made some amazing connections just with a lot of local businesses this year, and we got just some great little goodies and things to give away to teachers this year, and because it's all about the sponsors. We had some great, just like the awesome folks at Remind 101 and AnswerPad and Hapara, and it goes on and on. You can go on the EdCamp KC sponsor page if you want to see all of them, but you definitely can't do it without sponsors. So we have some very giving people locally and around the country that are great supporters of teachers, and so that's a crucial piece too. But yeah, it was crazy. Our 4th year, and we did have 300 people.
Wow.
Come, and it was from 8 different states. We had people come just last month. It was 300 people from 8 different states came. So I expect you two there next year.
All right. Well,
count us in. Count us in.
We love getting around everybody, learning, listening, talking, sharing, all that stuff. We love what EdCamps are all about. So.
And I'll take you for some great barbecue if you come too.
All right.
I'm in.
So there you go.
I like it.
Right there. All right. Well, we got one more quick question for you before we move on to the other parts of the show.
Yep.
So, all right, Kyle. So this is a dream right here.
Okay.
If you could get in front of any audience in front of any audience in the world, who would it be?
Oh my gosh.
What would your topic be? You don't have to sell us a topic, but what audience and what would you talk about?
This has been the one question I've been deliberating on the most since you sent me this. Since you told me that this was going to be a question, Brad.
Right.
Man,
it's hard.
It is really hard because you could say something like some globe. You could say something. There's lots of like big global groups you could say something to.
Right.
But and that's kind of where I tried to go first. But one of the other groups that I thought of that I would love to go back and talk to, and share some of these awesome things about what technology can do in student learning, would be my college professors. I would just love, because it was not, the most technology that we had when I was getting my bachelor's degree was we had to create a PowerPoint presentation. That was what technology does, and that still put the focus on the teacher. That didn't put the focus on the student, and that just made it still all about the teacher just being a stand up in front of the class and deliver information, and we know that's not what technology or teaching even should be about anymore. So I would love to go back and share with them just why that needs to be more of a priority for our pre-service teachers, because even still, we have student teachers in my district, and they, just like I'm on these days when I'm in some of our different elementary buildings, there will be student teachers that come and meet with me, and they will just be like, "This is awesome. I haven't had one technology related anything in my degree, in my program." And so here it is. We're right at 2014, and we still have pre-service teachers that are saying that, and that just blows me away. That they're basically, it sounds like a lot of them are just kind of left to fend for themselves when it comes to technology, and we're just keeping it focused on content, and how much curriculum we can stuff in pre-service teachers' heads, and so that's a little soapbox I won't get on too much, but...
Well, you know what? Drew and I, we had this discussion on the show the other night. I have a student teacher in my room, and Drew actually had a visitor today, a student teacher, and, of course, before school even started, Drew and I were already pulling out a bunch of AR and gadgets and technology.
Oh, yeah.
And
Brad got on his soapbox for about 10 minutes while I had to run down to the office and get stuff, but, oh, yeah, I come back and amazing. Brad's like, all right, well, I got to go now.
See ya. I got to go. Now that I made your brain fall out of your head, I got to go.
Right.
So, no, we're with you. We've discussed that topic before, so we're right along the same lines. We understand that. But then again, we talk about this is where our movement lies. All of us that in our PLN, all the people, the early adopters, the people who are joining us on the show right now, the people who are joining us on Twitter, we are part of that first wave of movement in this educational transformation of the educational world with technology. So, we hear you. We're with you. We're ready to make that change. We're pushing it. And, the early adopters are now getting out to the masses, and that is our goal, is to get to the masses. And you know what? We call it a +1 or a +2. If you can go work on one teacher in your building and just share and collaborate, not dictate, not challenge or anything like that, just collaborate and share and encourage, we can slowly make this change. And you know what?
Absolutely.
We can do it faster than they change textbooks in school. So you know what? We can accomplish this mission.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely. I totally agree.
All right. Well, let's move on to some of the other fun segments. We'll end with the best segment, but let's all right, so let's go around. Let's talk about Kyle. This is where we talk a little bit about ed tech conferences. Where have you been lately? What do you have coming up? What were just a couple highlights for you?
The one that I am going to be at the end of January, I will be with the rest of our team from my district. We will be going to FETC in Orlando.
We'll be there.
So, awesome, good. And it's a great conference, and it's been several years since we've been. I haven't been. It's been 10 years since our whole department was there, so it's been a long time coming, but we're all excited to go. And I mean, who doesn't love going to Orlando at the end of January when? Yeah,
exactly. You guys will be there. We'll be there. Adam Bello will be there. Shannon Miller will be there, and that's just the small group that I've heard from. So I know
it's a very sweet conference.
Are you there? Are you there enjoying and learning? Or are you going to be speaking at all?
Nope, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there learning. That's awesome. Which I am really excited about that because at ISTE I don't usually get to do that. So it's that's the other big one that I'll be at in June again. I'm sure is at ISTE, and so. But that's FETC. That's the main one I've got coming up. I really hope to get. It's not for sure yet. I would really love to go to ASCD in March in LA. That would be a great one to go to. That's one I've never been to, so that would be one I would really love to go to also.
Erin's presenting out there, I believe.
She probably is.
Yeah.
She's all over the place.
Where isn't Erin presenting?
Show off.
Exactly. Go to the EdTech Conference homepage. There's a picture of Erin. Drew, you remember when we were out in Marysville?
Oh, my God. There's the best story for another time, but oh my God.
You know what? It was two people right in a row. Oh, I know you. Oh, and what's your name?
This lady was so giddy to meet Erin.
Oh, I bet.
She goes, "What's your name?" I go, "My name's Drew." She looks right at me. She goes, "Dave." Okay, I got Dave. And nobody heard it but Brad and I. Brad and I just look at each other like, she just call me Dave? And because she's still so giddy from meeting Aaron that she like is literally dancing. It was hilarious.
She just met me. Oh, hi, Brad. Blah 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 blah. Who are you? Oh, Aaron. Oh, I know Aaron. Dee, 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 dee. She started dancing,
making that noise. It was hilarious.
And then Drew, like, I'm Drew, and he had a name tag on. He's like, I'm Drew. She's like, nice to meet you. She goes, Dave. Like, she didn't want to forget. And Drew,
yeah.
Oh my! Oh, I just started laughing so loud, and I looked around. Nobody else saw it or heard it. I look at Drew, and he goes, "I'm gonna be over here sitting in a corner."
I mean, honestly, I'm just gonna take my chair and just face towards the corner like I have a dunce cap on.
Yeah. What about you guys? Where else are you going?
All right, Drew. Go ahead.
We're pretty excited that they got announced this morning. The Ohio Educational Technology Conference. Brad and I are gonna be featured speakers there.
Nice.
Yeah, we're going to be featured speakers there, and we will be doing a workshop on augmented reality as well. So we're pretty excited about that. And that's the Monday, the same exact week as the FETC.
Yep.
So and we're doing a workshop there, so we're pretty excited about that.
Yeah, we just submitted our discussion. Our address is going to be augmented reality in education. So, is that what we called it? Transforming education, or just in education?
See, he obviously typed it up.
I was sitting right next to him when we did it.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. It's just called Augmented Reality, the Future of Education.
The future of education. There we go. I knew it was better than that. We had to make sure it was awesome, and we're going to rock it. That's going to be fun. So, all right. Well, here's we're going to move on. We got, just to be quick, we got augmented reality, we got our Twitter shout-outs, then we got our playlist. So let's kind of jam through these real quick.
Well, you don't have to tell us to jam through them. It's somebody else that needs to.
Hey, I like to go last because I can wrap it up. But anyway,
okay.
All right, so AR Corner. All right, Kyle, so we'll let you go first. What is your experience with augmented reality? If not much, tell us what you know. If you have some experience with it, tell us what you've seen or what you've done.
Well, to be honest with you, not a whole lot. That's definitely something I need to learn more about. And I know I've bugged you guys about it before, and because we have had some teachers that are interested in it, and it's specifically Erasma, and we have one of my coworkers, Julie. She's been checking out Erasma a lot and playing with it and learning it, so she can go teach it to some other teachers that have asked about it. And so she's had a lot of fun. She's had a lot of fun doing that lately. But yeah, I know, but other than that, I have not had a lot of experience with it. It's definitely one of those things I need to spend some time with and get more in the know about it.
Well, you should come to our workshop at FETC.
I need to. I know.
We have like a 2-hour on augmented reality, I think, don't we, on Friday?
It's 2 or 2.5 hours. It's
awesome.
Thursday.
I'm there.
That's what I said, Thursday. It's on Thursday. I'm glad you keep the schedule, Drew. We all have our strengths, Kyle.
That's right. That's right.
Yes,
funny.
We do.
So Drew, tell me what's the latest with you in AR, and then you know what I was doing today, so I'll share my story after you're done.
Yeah, a couple different things. I came across on Zeit an article the other day using ChatterPix. It's this app that is, I think ChatterPix is awesome.
All right, I'm writing it down. I haven't heard of that one.
Oh.
Kyle, you can either take a picture, and then you just draw a line where you want the mouth to be, and then it gives you 30 seconds to record. And so you can make it just like a stagnant picture, make it look like this has this fake mouth and it's talking.
Awesome.
You record over it, but you can do pictures, then you can put hats and glasses and mustache and all this on it. So I made a pretty funny
love that at all.
Oh, I made a pretty funny one of Brad. But anyway, so you can take that, but the great thing about it is you can save the video to your camera roll. So as everyone who's listening to us talk about Erasma, that's huge because now I can take that 30-second video and now turn it into an aura right there on the spot. So now I just take the picture of it, and now literally using this app, it looks like it just comes to life and it's talking at you. I cannot wait to use it. And the article talking about it was great.
Awesome.
So that was the main one for me. And then Magic Camera is the name of the app. It's from Baby Sign to Learn, I believe it is, or Sign to Learn. It teaches sign language using flashcards. It's pretty cool. Just real basic sign language to. It is to babies and it's addressed towards babies. But I mean, it's great for our kids just picking up basic signs, you know, because we have a DHH or deaf and hard of hearing program at our school, so it's very cool.
All right. So Drew, I just went and found that video. I may, if we get enough Twitter chatter, I may put it up on the
we got to get it up because if I just might just put it up by myself.
You know what? You know what? I want to see how much the people in the Twitter world want to see it, because if they give us enough love, hashtag 2GuysShow, I will put it on the 2Guys Instagram page. So if you want to see this ridiculous video that Drew made of me, that I saw when I was at Greenfield Village this weekend and laughed like uncontrollably. It was hilarious. Drew took a picture of us in D.C.
It's not us. It's Brad in a cart in an elevator. Just imagine that. And me with a horrible accent or imitation of Brad.
So here's, I don't know if the camera can see, that's, you know those little luggage carts at the hotel. There was one in the elevator when Drew and I got in, and I jumped on it, and I said, wee, something like, I don't know, like a roller coaster, and Drew took the pic, and we had all kinds of fun, and next thing I know, he used this
Chatterpix.
Chatterpix. It's so ridiculously funny. It kills me.
It's free, too. There's an adult version that you can share things with the social media, but the kids one you can't.
Oh, awesome. My God. It's hilarious. So, anyways, all right, so.
Hi, my name is Brad.
Oh, whoops.
I really like to take
Stop it. Sorry. You can hear that. I accidentally hit play. It's really, really bad, Drew, but it's funny. All right, so let me get to Drew. Are you done with AR?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Couple things. Two quick AR shout-outs. Andrea Keller, she did this post, really cool. You remember that, Drew? She did it about the Christmas tree. Decorated a Christmas tree in their classroom, and all the kids put ornaments on the tree. Every ornament they made an aura out of using Aurasma, which was awesome. So shout out to Andrea Keller. I even saw you on Twitter tonight not long ago, so right on. And also Todd ended up doing a tree with his students, and every kid's picture on the ornaments is an aura through Aurasma. So nice job. But yes. something I did today, I called it an AR explosion. But I called it a circus to Drew, but I didn't want to make it a circus for the kids. You know, one of the cool things Drew and I have the opportunity of getting is, you know, we get a lot of AR stuff kind of early, which is great. You know, we get in touch with companies, they get in touch with us, so we get a lot of cool stuff. Well, I was just going through some things. We use probably the kids, we counted up to, we use 4 or 5 augmented reality apps and experiences routinely, okay? The kids know them by name. We use them for math, we use them for science, language arts, creation, everything. I realized I had at least 7 or 8 more AR apps and targets and triggers that we hadn't really used that much. And the kids hadn't even seen them. So what we did today is I got all the iPads out. I made 4 different stations, all AR. And so what I did is I had this form that the kids had to fill out real quick. It just said name of app, what did you like most about it, and then how can we use it in the classroom. So we had NASA Spacecraft 3D, we had AR flashcards, we had track labs, and then we had we had some solar system stuff out. So it was really cool. And so the kids got about 5 minutes to get a lot of hands-on. The cool thing was you know, reading over some of the stuff and how the kids say we can use these for projects. They're already coming up, not even knowing what project-based learning is. They're discussing that. Here's how we could use these AR apps and stuff. So that was, and I came and saw Drew, and I said, you should just hear what they're doing. It's crazy.
You're going bonkers.
I was going bonkers because it was absolutely awesome. The kids were I mean, we know they get engaged, but it was crazy. I wish I had another hour. So the thing is so now I got a lot of great ideas. And I was telling somebody I wanted to hear what the kids said about that. One, what they liked about it. What was the appeal? And then secondly, how do they think we can use it in the classroom? Because they, you know, we always say this, kids always surprise us because, you know what, being an adult, you know, we still have our own confines and thinking and stuff. We try to open our minds. Kids routinely open their minds. They're really not, you know, they're really not limited in their imagination. So to hear what kids say when they're exploring apps are just absolutely incredible. So that was something really awesome today. I loved it, and I just wanted to share that. I'm thinking about writing a blog post about it, just kind of the experience. What do you think, Drew? You think that'd be a good one?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Well, that's the AR Corner. Everyone, thanks for joining us on AR Corner. You can check out our sponsors. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways.
Oh my gosh. I'm definitely tweeting that video out.
All right. Well, this is a chance where everybody can give let's do our Twitter PLN shout out. Kyle, why don't you start? This is your chance to give out 3 or so people you want to give a shout out. And also make sure you give out how we can connect with them, their Twitter handle or whatever it is.
Yep, definitely. So one of them I already said. I had Laura Gilchrist on my list of who to give a shout out to just because how amazing she was in helping me with EdCamp KC this year. So at Laura Gilchrist, GILCHRAST, number 4, that's where you can follow Laura. So be sure and connect with her. The other 2, actually 3 that I'll share are all local KC, Kansas City area people that I want to give a shout out to. The next one I have to give a shout out to, I didn't mention his Twitter name earlier, but that's our superintendent with all the great things he's doing, modeling good use of social media and with Google Hangouts and how much of a great technology leader he is. His name's Dr. David McGehee, and so that's where you can find him also on Twitter. I'm just double checking his Twitter name. It is at Dr. David McGehee, McGehee. That's where you can find and follow our superintendent on Twitter. The other one are 2 of the other Google certified teachers here in the Kansas City area that are over here in the KC area with me. And the first one would be Eric Langhorst. You can find him at Langhorst on Twitter, LANGHORST is where you can find him. He is an excellent middle school social studies teacher, just north of me, just about 20 minutes. And then the other one is, her name is Jamie Greason, and you can find her at Greason, GREASONJ, at GreasonJ on Twitter, and she is she's an elementary teacher in a district just north of me, and those are 2 of the other Google certified teachers that are here in the immediate area with me that are excellent people to connect with and just really all around awesome people. So definitely check all of those people out for sure.
Awesome. Great
That
choice.
is awesome. Yeah. Okay, am I up next?
You're up.
All right. I'm going to give one to Keith Terpsma. He actually tweeted us today. He just discovered AR. Hopefully he was able to check out the show tonight and, check out other resources that are on our blog and stuff like that. But big thumbs up for discovering AR and hopefully, integrating that into your classroom and into just not your classroom but your school, everything. Pernille Rip, I'll tell you what, if you guys need to read a blog,
yep,
you need to go to that. Her blog is it's one of the best out there, if not the best. Every time she writes something, it blows my mind. It really challenges your thinking. It's not always your rah-rah, everything is great in education, which is one of the things I absolutely love about it. She just really pushes your thinking, and man, would she be fun I would love to be a student in her classroom.
I'd love to meet her. She's on my must-meet list.
Kyle,
I've never met her in person.
Is awesome.
Yep.
She is awesome. She is so laid back, and we were able to meet her out in D.C. For the BAMI Awards. So her husband was out there. He's such a cool guy. They're so laid back.
Yep.
One of my favorite people that I've met.
And she's got another baby on the way too. She's getting ready to have another little
just
one,
rocking it over there. I'll tell you what.
Congrats to them for that.
Congratulations, absolutely. But yeah, you have to check out her blog. It is unbelievable. So those are 2 of mine, and then I only had 2 tonight.
Well, that's
those
all
are
right.
the 2 main ones that I wanted to shout out. And we're gonna get Pernille on the show here real soon. She said no, she wouldn't have anything smart to say. Well, we all know that's ridiculous.
Right.
It's funny, Drew. She DM'd me and said, "You know what? Can I be on the show on a night when Drew's going to take the night off?"
Yeah, makes sense.
Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Ouch.
So somebody give her a shout out. Let her know we're talking about her. Love to have her on the show. It's a great way for us to get people on the show. Let us know who you'd like to hear. And also, don't forget, you can always chat with us using the hashtag 2GuysShow. We've been watching the feed all night, and that's where a lot of our great questions come from. So, and also, you can always tweet us at 2GuysShow on Twitter and let us know some of the things you'd like to hear about. If there's a segment you'd like to hear about or an interesting thing you'd like to hear us address, or a guest we have coming up, feed us a question. Let us know what you're thinking. We always want to make the show better and better all the time. So we always appreciate everybody joining us every week. So, all right, well, I'm going to give my shout-outs. And, yes, I have only 3. Drew, actually, I have about tons. Of course, everybody does. But I try to give everybody those shout-outs when I'm talking to them directly on Twitter. But here's the first one. It's a group called Collaborating Minds. It's out of Chicago, and I've been in email contact with them since. Here is their bio. They look like they're pretty new to Twitter, but it's awesome. I jumped on this, and I've been chatting with them through email. Collaborating Minds, I'll give you their Twitter handle in a minute. Solving tough problems with a unique team. And so, they sent me a video, and it's almost like crowdsourcing to solve problems. And it's really cool because what they're looking for, people in all different industries, and they're working on just general problems, that we want to solve. And the cool thing is they want collaborating minds, people from all different walks of life, because we all approach problems differently. And I love the big picture idea. So I'm in contact with them, giving them a shout out. I love the idea. I want to see it be successful. On the surface, it's wonderful. They're Collaborating Minds. You can probably just search that on Twitter and find them. But their tech handle is @collab, COLLAB _minds. So let them know you heard about them on the 2 Guys Show. It looks like a great effort that they're putting together. Second one. We've talked about him before. Our friend Brian Wassam, he's an augmented reality legal attorney, and we got a tweet from him today.
Yes, we did.
Drew, what was his tweet today?
He is getting Google Glass, and I'm so jealous. If anyone out there on Twitter can tell me how I can get Google Glass, that's like I'm a gadget person. I need Google Glass.
I think Drew would really love the invitation to become an explorer. So if there's somebody, one, just shoot it to me first, and it'll be great because it'll drive.
Brad looks like a cyclops. I'll share that picture on Twitter.
I won't tell Drew then about how I got an invite and turned it down.
Oh!
You lock it up. Did you really?
Yeah, I can't afford that. As much as I would love to have it, I got an invite, and I just I can't.
Awesome.
So I can't afford to give them that much money right now. I'd love to, but I just
Absolutely.
It can't happen.
I think I would cut off a couple toes.
Yeah.
Not me. I like my toes.
So Brian Wassam, you can follow him at BD Wassam. That's WASSOM. He is also one of the co-founders of AR Detroit. Just like you have EdCamp KC, Kyle, Drew and I have Augmented Reality Detroit, one of the international meetups for all things augmented reality. And we are in the top 15 or top 10 worldwide, I believe. Drew, what was our stat on that?
We were top 15. We're like top 12. We're probably close to top 10 now.
Yeah, it's a really great movement. It's a great thing. So anybody, if you're interested in all things augmented reality, you can go to meetups.com and join AR Detroit. You don't have to live in the area. We always do a hangout. We bring people in. We'd love to have you as a member. So if you're interested, go to meetups.com, sign up, look for AR Detroit, and just sign up being a member. It's free. We'd love to have you. Okay, third person is John Kernan. Drew, this is the guy I was telling you about that lives just down the street from us in Birmingham.
Yep.
He teaches at Covington, and he's really doing some cool stuff with augmented reality and Erasmus. So we're going to get together and chat. It's always nice to have somebody local. That's how we met up with Aaron as well. So I want to give him a shout out on Twitter. He is at JK17BPS, which I assume is for Birmingham Public Schools. So awesome. So that is my Twitter PLN shout out. Of course, all the people who are hanging with us tonight, Paul, Terry, Kristen, let's see, Ryan, Jared, Amanda. Amanda's joined us again, which is great. A lot of great people joined us for the show tonight, so thank you. All right, Drew, I think you know what time it is.
Yep, and I'm going back to my old ways tonight, but we'll go ahead and start with Kyle.
All right, Kyle. So this is one of my favorite segments. What's on your playlist? What 3 songs are so listening to right now? I know this was one of the things you're most excited about, I'm sure.
You know, there isn't, to be honest with you. That is hard. I mean, I can name 3 artists. I don't know. I don't know.
That's fine.
Because
artists are cool.
I like all kinds of music. If you look at my iTunes library, I mean, there is everything from Jay-Z to Brad Paisley to Jimmy Fallon. I mean, even I love Jimmy Fallon, and I have his latest CD.
So funny.
Oh my gosh! I mean, Dave Matthews, you name it, I've got it. It's
nice.
So there's not a lot of music I don't like. So I've got a lot, but so it's a pretty good mix. So there was a few artists at least that I've got.
All right, give me one.
A lot of Katy Perry happening in my car right now too, because I have an 8-year-old. So
I was about to say, okay, give me one song you've listened to today. One song you listened to today.
Roar, Katy Perry.
Got it, Todd. Shout out to Todd. Technical Todd. I think that blog has had like 8 million views since he put up Roar. I think that's why you got invited to the White House for that post alone. Hear me roar, Katy Perry. It's referenced all the time. I love it. So giving you a shout out. I know you can't watch the show tonight, but we know you're here in spirit. So, all right, Drew, let's hear it.
All right, you'll be proud of me. I literally just came up with 3 songs.
Right on.
Legacy by Eminem.
Oh, I don't know that one.
That's a good one.
That is a good song. Definitely not kid appropriate, but that whole album's pretty sweet. Timber by Pitbull featuring Kesha.
Dude, I'm digging that song, man. Isn't that cool?
I like that song. And then Say Something by it's featuring Christina Aguilera with A Great Big World.
Great Big World.
Their performance. Yeah, their performance at the AMAs last week or whatever it was, that was pretty sweet.
Yeah, they have they have a few cool songs off.
Yeah, they do.
It's really cool. That's a good song. So, all right, cool. Just 3. You keeping it to 3?
Yeah.
Right on. Okay.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. I have like 7 right here. See if I can. Yeah. All right, that is. I don't know what text came through. I don't want to show the screen, so I look at it. But this is actually my playlist right now. These are the last 6 or 7 I downloaded. So just a couple off here. Well, it's funny. You see Asher Monroe and Project Dirty. They're 2 people I've been talking with. Hopefully, we can have somebody on the show sometime. Let's see. Skywalker by Project Dirty, of course. Counting Stars, One Republic, All Night, Iconopop. Here with you, Asher Monroe. Rough Water by Travie McCoy. It's a new one. I don't think I've been saying that one. I do love that one. And Demons by Imagine Dragons. Dude, you weren't counting. There's only 3 there. See?
You said like the top 5 songs on that list.
I don't know what you're saying. I didn't use those in my list. I was merely in conversation speaking of artists and songs in general. They weren't on my list. I was merely having a discussion with 2 other people on the show.
Kyle, do you see this?
Awesome. Well, those of you who are just joining us, you're a little late, but I'll reset the show. We've been talking with the awesome Kyle Pace, a Google certified teacher and instructional technology specialist in the Kansas City area. He's an awesome guy, great follow. We met him at ISTE last year. He's a good friend of the show. He's become a good friend in general, and we're thrilled to have you. As we start wrapping things up, Kyle, can you give us just like how do people contact you? What's your preferred contact? Tell us your blog and things like that so people can get in contact with you.
Yeah, so you can learn all about me at kylepace.com. That's my personal website where you can find all about me, what I do, and you can find links to my blog and you can find all ways to contact me, connect with me on Twitter and Google Plus, and if you want to get in touch with me, that's the #1 place to do it, and definitely Twitter is somewhere where you can always find me readily accessible to help in any way I can. So that's what I'm all about. Is just I love helping people. So that's what I do.
Yes, you do. You definitely have helped us. That's for sure. So definitely reach out to them.
Yep, for sure. All right, Drew. Start taking us home. What's your contact information? Start wrapping things up. Do
All right, you can find me at TechMinoc on Twitter, at our blog at twoguysinsmypads.com. Definitely check it out. If you guys need any resources, you can always reach out to us on Twitter. We'll always get back to you as quick as we can, and try and help you with anything augmented reality or any questions that you might have just in general. So definitely reach out to us. You can also find our podcast on iTunes. Definitely subscribe and comment there. Let us know what you think of the show. And then also on Stitcher. So definitely check us out on Stitcher and download on there. You can go to our Facebook page, Two Guys in SmyPads. Go ahead and give that a like. And yeah, another great show. It was great having you on, Kyle. Thank you.
Hey, my pleasure. This was a ton of fun, and I'm honored to join you guys. You guys are doing awesome stuff, so keep it up.
Well, thank you, Kyle. Well, as you know, I am Brad Wade. Thank you for joining us on the EdReach Network. You can find me at TechBradWade on Twitter. I love getting in conversations with people. You never know who's going to be on there or who's listening. So please, if you want to chat with me, directly chat with me. Connect me, tag me into a tweet, and I'd love to chat with you. I'd like to hear what everybody's doing, and I like to share information. So if you're doing something cool, I'd like to hear. If you have questions, we'd like to hear, whether it's augmented reality, whether it's ed tech, whatever. Please, we'd love to connect with you. As Drew said, you can find us on our blog at twoguyssmypads.com. You can also find us on Facebook, and you can also find us on Instagram. So if you have an Instagram account, you'd like to see what we're up to, you may even see a selfie video of me, apparently, because that seems to be what's going around right now. But I will upload the nice video Drew that he made of me. As soon as this is over, I will put it up, and you can check it out. So thank you again for joining us, Kyle. Thank you for being a guest with us tonight. It was truly an honor to have you on.
Kyle.
My pleasure was all mine.
Thank you.
Alrighty. All right. Well, we will see you next week, everybody. Have a great week.
Have a great week, everybody. Stay connected.